Hello, my name is Alain Caron, and you're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com.
Hi everyone, John Liebman here. You're watching for BassPlayersOnly.com. We're coming to you today from the F-Bass booth at the 2020 NAMM show, Anaheim, California, with my old friend Alain Caron. Hello, Alain.
Bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour, comment allez-vous?
Très bien, very good.
I just shot my whole French wad. That's about all I know. Well, I know a little bit more, but avez-vous un ami dans la classe de français? Oui.
Vous aviez un ami dans la classe de français. That's very good, man.
Lundi matin. All right, we're getting way off track here. We should start over, but I'm not going to. Let's keep going. We've done at least a couple of interviews, I think, on ForBassPlayersOnly.com. The last one was probably at NAMM,
Yep.
and that had to have been 3, 4, 5 years ago at least. So bring us up to date on what's been happening. You don't have to tell us everything in the last 5, 6 years, but what has been occurring? What of note have you been working on, and what do you think would be interesting to our audience here?
Well, I think it was at least 4 years. So the past 4 years, my focus in my life has changed a little bit. I'm still playing, obviously, a lot. But I started teaching at the Montreal University, where I teach bass, and I also teach improvisation, and I also responsible for the master program. So it's a great thing that happened in my life, just at the right time. You know, I've been traveling a lot in my life, you know, touring and playing, and then I'm not saying I got tired of playing. It's not the case, because I still love playing. But I got tired of traveling, so going to the airport is not necessarily a good news. So it's good. Now I rebalance my life a little bit. I travel a little bit less, so I can focus on my teaching. I already had a teaching program, because I've been doing clinics for many, many years. So I had a lot of things written down, maybe 300 pages of stuff, and all the lesson I took in my life and all the books I had. So I made it clear, and I put up a program, a teaching program that works very, very well. So that keeps me busy.
Is that in the jazz department, the bass department, or everybody in the jazz department that's not necessarily a bass player, or what?
No, it's open to all instruments. And
what do you teach? Arranging, harmony, theory? I mean, what?
I teach bass and I teach improvisation.
Okay.
So we have other teachers also that teach, you know, composing, arranging, chord analysis, all kinds. It's a state university, and we teach at a master level, and then we have students from all over the world. We have students from Brazil, from Africa. We got students from Belgium, from France. So it's a very high level. So it's very, very challenging, and it keeps me busy and it keeps me thinking. So I really like it, and I travel a little less. 2 years ago, though, in 2017, you know the group UZEB I was part of?
Very well, and so do they.
All right. The last concert was in 1992, and we realized that in 2017 would have been 25 years anniversary of our last concert. So we met, and then we said we cannot let this kind of anniversary pass by and do nothing. So we decided to do a few concerts. Like we did, I think, 21 concerts. And then we recorded all the concerts.
Everybody's still friends? And
yeah, of course. We've been in touch during all those years. And then we said, okay, let's do it. First of all, we decided to get together and play and just to check if we still had that sound that we made this band popular, and we still had it in a minute. So we said, okay, we'll do it. So we did 20-something concert. We recorded it and released a DVD and a vinyl. And then that's it. We had a great time.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations. That's quite a milestone. Before I move on, just one quick question.
Sure.
When you teach at the university in Montreal, What language does everybody speak? Is it all conducted in French?
No, this is a French university. Obviously, when we have foreigners, and they don't speak very well in French, obviously we help them.
Okay,
But
now, you mentioned Brazil as one of the places.
True.
I don't know
But
if
they have to speak a little bit French.
Okay.
It's part of the
Gotta be
what
part
we
of the
ask.
expectation when you go to Montreal. You have to expect to be able to speak at least a little French.
Well, there's another university called McGill University,
Sure.
which is an English university. So they teach in English. It's an English university. But in Montreal, the Montreal University, it's a French university. So basically, the students have to speak French.
Okay. Just wondering. What are you holding there in your lap, Alain?
What?
What are you holding there in your lap?
This is a beautiful thing that I've been playing for more than 30 years. It's my F bass. It's my signature bass. I had this one for a long time. I think it's in 1992 or something like that. And then this is the bass that George still makes. There's one behind here. It's called the AC6. He makes this model with a 4-string and a 5-string. AC4, AC5, and AC6. And then we also have another model called the Classic behind you as well, which has a cavity inside, so it's semi-acoustic, and a wooden saddle and wooden bridge, a warmer tone. But this bass is my main instrument that I've been playing for a long time. I consider myself more of a fretless player than a fretted.
I think we all consider you mostly a fretless player.
Yeah, this is my sound. This is the instrument of where I can express myself the most. I play fretted bass as well, but mostly I use the slap technique on a fretted instrument. And I'm back to upright though. Yeah, because I've been playing a lot of upright bass when I was younger. When I was at Berkeley School of Music in 1979-80, I was playing almost only upright bass. And I stopped playing upright because I've been traveling so much. It was so hard and difficult to travel with the instrument.
I know.
So that's why I switched to fretless bass to be able to travel with my own instrument. And so I haven't played upright bass for 4 years, but now I feel like going back to that, and I want to teach that as well.
Who was your upright bass teacher at Berkeley?
Bruce Gertz.
Bruce Gertz. I love Bruce.
Yeah. If Bruce watched at some point, I say hi to Bruce. He's been a good teacher for me. He gave me a lot of tricks.
You can't not feel good talking to Bruce Gertz.
That's right.
Hey, Bruce.
I felt really lucky because when I got there, he liked the way I played, and he sent me to some gigs to sub him.
Yeah.
And I had the opportunity to play with Tom Harrell, Sal Nestico, Frank Tibery, Jerry Berganzi.
Yep.
So he would send me to replace him on a gig he couldn't do. So I felt really lucky. He's been real nice with me.
Wow. Let's talk about the rest of your gear. First of all, what kind of strings do you play on your bass?
I use labella strings. I've been using labella strings for 30 some years. And I've worked on the design of those strings. They're called the Super Steps. This is the strings I've been using for years. And then I have my signature amp, the Mark Bass signature amp. So this is the second model. We did one like 8 years ago, and then we came up with this one like 2 years ago, called the K1. And then I love them. It's Marco, the owner of Marco de Virgilis, he opened the door to me, to his company, and said, Alain, if you want to work with us, just tell us what you want, and then we'll make it for you.
That's nice.
It doesn't get any better than that. So I flew to the company. We tried different things.
In Italy?
In Italy. I've been there many times. Actually, I was there 3 weeks ago. Now at this point, we're very good friends, and the whole team is incredible. They're all friends of mine.
Yeah.
So I went to the company. We tried different speakers. We tried different speaker cabinet. We tried different components. And then I came up with this idea of having a 3-way speaker cabinet, a little bit more as like a studio monitor reference. Because when I played this bass in studio, I'm used to listen to it in a really flat speaker response. I like the sound of the bass. I don't want the amp to color it and change the sound of it. And an amplifier is most of the time colored to the way you like, but it changed the sound of the instrument. So I went the other way. I said, Marco, can we make the frequency response as flat as possible? So we went. I said, what about a three-way, like a 12, a small 5-inch speaker and a tweeter? He said, why? We'll try it. And then we noticed that a big difference, especially with the slap technique. When you hit the strings, you have a lot of high frequencies, and then through those three components, the sound is just perfect. It's just right on. So a lot of guys told me, why a 5 inches? You know, the bass frequency is a lot lower. True, the fundamental is lower, but the upper harmonics are not. So if you want the full range, if you, for example, listen to an upright bass where you hear the sound of, when you touch a string, you hear it. It's not in the low frequencies, the upper frequencies. So it's good to hear it. I want to hear it.
What about any effects? What do you use?
Not many effects, especially on the fretless. When I solo, normally I add a little bit of reverb, different length of reverb depending on the speed of the tune.
No chorus or anything like that?
Yes, I do chorus from time to time. On a fretted bass, when I solo on the fretless bass, on the fretted with the slap technique, normally I put a little bit of chorus, stereo to open it up a little bit. And then I've been using, when I was playing synthesizer bass. See, I still have my connector here, so I can trigger like the GR55 of Roland, so any MIDI system. So then I would use different effects like delay or phase or different effects.
Let's talk about the future. I think it's been a little while since you put out a record, and I think, you know, if it's all right for me to say, I think you're about due for a follow-up. Are you thinking about one? Are you working on one?
I'm thinking about one.
Well, that's a start anyway.
Yeah. You know what? I've been doing so many records, so many different things. Fusion, a bit more on acoustic. I did a duet record called Conversation, duet with piano players. I don't know exactly what I want to do next. I want to do something different, but I want to be convinced and then inspired. And now my teaching time, my teaching takes a lot of time, and I'm really happy with it. I'm just taking my time and get my brain rolling and get running. But I'm getting close to a final idea. I did a few years ago a couple of concerts with a string quartet, and I really liked it.
Playing upright bass? Or?
No, I was playing this bass,
okay.
Piano, and a string quartet. And then I found it very, very beautiful. So I think I'll try some more of that. I'm not saying I'm going to make a record. It has to be exactly what I want. And then I need to work on it. But it's a project.
When the time is right, everything will fall into place.
Exactly.
I want to ask you something. Put your educator hat back on for a minute. And for bass players only, as you know, we've been known for so many years for all of our one-on-one bass player interviews like this. And we've also become very well known for our instructional component. More and more people are coming to For Bass Players Only to learn bass online. So as an educator and as a bass teacher, what advice can you impart to somebody who wants to learn the bass? What do you think is important?
Honestly, this is an answer that deserves 3 hours answer.
Okay, in the interest of time, if you can condense it to just the high points, or in this case, the low points.
Yeah, it's a tough one, I must say. But regardless of the style of music you want to play, rock, jazz, pop, whatever, if you want to improvise or not, I think the most important thing is to understand what you play. We all start playing by ears, which is good because it shows that you have talent. We need talent to play music. But talent, I've noticed and I've experienced this, talent is just enough. It's just not enough. You reach a limit at some point. I experienced that, and I had to go back to figure it out and learn why am I stuck? Why am my face is stuck in a corner and I cannot see how to improve? And then I took a couple of steps back, and then I realized that I needed to understand what I'm playing in order to grow and then be able to do something different. I see music as a language, exactly as a language. So I decided at some point, I said, I'm not gonna play one note I don't know why. The reason I play that note, the function of that note in the chord, and the harmony, the emotional impact of that note, in which order. Make, every note is like a consonant and a vowel. You make words with it, you make a phrase with it, you make a story with it. This is the way I approach it.
Sort of an advanced concept, but important nonetheless.
Well, it's not an advanced concept. I realize
for somebody who hasn't been playing long,
yeah,
thinking like that might be a little bit down the road, but maybe not. You know why? If you're a beginner, you're just going to play something simple. Yeah. So this is the note and this is the note. Why do you play this one? Why do you play that? Maybe it's advanced, but not necessarily advanced.
It's not really. I noticed that all students and all beginners are so afraid of theory. This theory is very too intellectual. Music has to be played with heart, feeling. Of course, if you don't have feeling, you think about it. When you speak, you can spell all the words in your head at the same time, right? And it's automatic. Remember, when you're a baby, you start talking. You don't know you cannot spell it. You talk, so you play by ears. You talk by ears. You play by ears. But at some point, you go to school, and then you start to figure it out. You start to spell the words. It's hard at the beginning. I remember when I was young, writing the letters, it was hard. And then get to the point where you can, now I can spell the words in my head faster than I think, than I speak. So I approach the music the same way. I tell my students, we need to learn how to think fast. If you think faster than what you're playing, you're safe. You know what to do. And it's hard to do. That switch is frustrating.
But it's nothing to be afraid of.
No, I see it as a good challenge. Yeah. But another thing I tell my students all the time, theory is very good. I think it opens all the doors in front of you. But if you compare it as a language, I say, you can learn the whole dictionary from page 1 to the last, all the words, everything. It won't make you a poet. You can still say stupid things. So you need both. Yeah. You need the theory, but you need to have something to say.
Right. I always say, why do we practice all those scales and all those modes? What are we supposed to do with all those modes? And that plays right into what you're talking about. And by the way, I'd like to give a special shout out to all of you who signed up this week at For Bass Players Only for our online lessons, various places across the country and across the world. Thanks for joining our community. And those people are now learning bass online right here at ForBassPlayersOnly.com. So welcome to all of you. The rest of you, you know what to do. ForBassPlayersOnly.com. Learn bass online with us. One last question for you, Alain. I probably asked you this before, but I don't remember. What would you be if you were not a bass player? Something outside of music.
I would be probably a farmer or an athlete.
An athlete?
Yeah, because I like sports. For example, I do a lot of road bikes, and I'm crazy about it. I do races and I do competitions and I do all that, Grand Fondo and all that. I used to run, and I'm really into it. I like sports. Obviously, at some point in my life, I didn't have time because I was playing bass 24 hours a day, and I was on the road all the time. But I always been running, jogging, and all that. And this is something I would have liked to do because at this point I still do.
Great.
And or I would have been a farmer because I like space, I like country, I like. I'm very, very slow, and I can see far away. So I'm a good farmer. So I can plant a seed and wait until it grows.
That's a great note to end on. Congratulations on everything, and the new phase in your life seems to be taking well. You seem to be taking well to it. You know what I'm trying to say. And congratulations on all your success, and glad to hear you're doing well and that you're happy with what you're doing.
Thank you very much for. Goodbye to everybody. Keep on playing, one day at a time, one note at a time. That's it.
On location at the F-Bass booth with our good friend Alain Caron at the 2020, can you believe it's 2020 NAMM show, Anaheim, California. I'm John Liebman. You're watching the #1 site for exclusive one-on-one bass player interviews like this one. And now more and more people's favorite site on the internet to learn bass online. That's forBassPlayersOnly.com. Once again, I'm John Liebman. Let's play bass.